Hello. Li Ka-shing wants to sell the port. However, East University disagrees. What is the reason behind this? On April 2, Li Ka-shing's Changhe was to sign a deal with BlackRock. But now, it has suddenly stalled. East University's official media has published 3 articles criticizing this. They invoke the national security law and the anti-monopoly law. They are accusing him of endangering national security. The Market Supervision Administration has intervened. The Hong Kong government is also active. Former chief executives Li Ka-chiu and Leung Chun-ing have spoken out. Is this just an ordinary business transaction? Wrong. This is a strategic game concerning East University's lifeline. In 2015, Changhe wanted to sell 40% of the port's shares to mainland state-owned enterprises at 26 to 28 times the price. But the market price was only 10 to 12 times. This did not include control. It was clear they were exploiting their own. Now, selling 40% to BlackRock with control. The price has dropped to 13 times. It's like selling the same asset to Americans at a bargain. Even he cannot tolerate this. He wants to criticize directly. But domestically, prices are high. While externally, they are marketed as promotions. No wonder the official media labeled this as treason. Let me tell you a number. By 2025, mainland companies plan to spend 150 billion Hong Kong dollars to buy 40% of these ports. Li Ka-shing found the price too low. In 2025, Americans bought 100% for 177.1 billion Hong Kong dollars. Li Ka-shing agreed without hesitation. Moreover, the money in 2015 was worth much more. This blatant double standard. Isn't it treasonous? Many are defending him, arguing for Li Ka-shing's business freedom. But one must ask. When East University acquired Ukraine's Motorsich and Korea's Magna? When buying Dutch ASML lithography machines and signing chip processing agreements with TSMC? Where were these concerns then? Furthermore, these are not American assets. Does a businessman have a homeland? Is that even a question? Is a businessman not human? When the Russo-Ukrainian war broke out, Biden ordered all Western brands to withdraw from Russia. Even if they were profiting, they had to retreat quickly. Biden. Did any business complain or criticize him? Biden vetoed Japan's acquisition of U.S. steel on national security grounds. Trump criticized Biden's executive orders daily. Yet, he never mentioned this issue. Instead, he continued to enforce that Americans could not accept East University's acquisition. Even if they had $1 trillion to invest in Intel? Would Intel pay attention to them? Americans understand that businessmen have a homeland. And national interests are paramount. The ports Li Ka-shing wants to sell, Balboa and Cristobal, are key to the Panama Canal. These are not ordinary ports but strategic points crucial to East University's lifeline. 21% of East University's cargo volume and 60% of trade with Latin America rely on this route. The Panama Canal handles about 3% of global maritime trade and 46% of containers from Northeast Asia to the U.S. East Coast. Most of this is shipped by East University. Trump has long stated the need to regain control of the canal. BlackRock, the buyer, is aligned with the U.S. government. Even some board members are former Pentagon officials. If this deal goes through, it effectively hands over East University's foreign trade lifeline to the Americans. Today, they may add political surcharges. Tomorrow impose restrictions. East University's supply chain could easily be controlled. Official media criticize Li Ka-shing for aiding and abetting. This is not an exaggeration. Li Ka-shing's capitulation occurred without a moment's resistance. Some say Li Ka-shing could not withstand Trump. He had no choice. In business terms, this argument is amusing. If one cannot win, they must find another way. Delaying tactics can also work. In the face of a Japanese invasion, the Japanese sent 700 soldiers. They had no heavy weapons, while northern troops were fully armed. Thousands fled without a shot. What does this mean? Even a novice knows to resist. First, delay. Second, communicate with the mainland. At least clarify responsibility. Then the mainland would hesitate to criticize Li Ka-shing. Why did he not do these two things? Because he fears America. He is not afraid of the mainland. Previously, he exploited the mainland without loss. But would he dare to exploit America? Trump would not let him off. Trump has two major goals. One is to control global shipping lanes. The second is to strike East University's shipbuilding industry. Dongwang is drafting an executive order. It imposes additional charges on all Dongda ships docking at U.S. ports. This applies to any ship in the fleet that is manufactured by Dongda or flies its flag. Currently, Dongda's shipbuilding industry is at the top globally. Its impact is significantly felt worldwide. By 2024, Dongda's shipbuilding completion volume will account for 55.7% of the global market share. New orders will represent 74.1% of the world's share. Future orders will account for 63.1% of the global market. This is closely related to Dongda's aircraft carrier construction. By 2024, Dongda will have 3 aircraft carriers. The 4th carrier will soon be launched. The next 4 years are crucial for them. It is the core period for developing aircraft carriers from scratch. Once the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier is successfully developed, the aircraft carrier industry will surely see a boom, leveraging Dongda's unrivaled shipbuilding supply chain. The U.S. will be powerless to resist. In fact, the U.S. currently has only 7 aircraft carriers ready for combat. Moreover, its maintenance and construction capabilities are extremely poor. Now, it even wants to send its warships to Japan for repairs. Once their aircraft carrier count reaches around 6, they will be able to compete with the U.S. on a global scale. This isn't merely about self-defense. It's about achieving a balance of military power globally. This is not just about breaking through the island chain. It's about aiming for the central plains of the world. Yes. It is the global central plains. Indeed. Trump's strategy is completely different from Biden's. Biden aims to strike both Dongda and Russia simultaneously. Conversely, Dongwang's priority is to concentrate all efforts against Dongda. In an interview with Fox News, Dongwang clearly stated that the first lesson learned from history is not to let Russia and Dongda come together. During Dongwang's first term, he blamed Dongda while taking strong actions against it. However, in his second term, he rarely mentioned Dongda. He even suggested visiting Dongda. He aimed to maintain friendly relations with Dongda. While saying this, he simultaneously imposed severe measures against Dongda. He delayed tariffs on allies repeatedly. But he aggressively increased tariffs on Dongda. The annexation of Canada by the U.S. seems to be the optimal solution now. He aims to alleviate debt. Moreover, Dongwang is no longer the outsider from 4 years ago. His words are no longer meaningless. There are real interest groups supporting him. This is evident. The U.S. dollar and debt have spiraled out of control. However, U.S. debt cannot be defaulted on. Because the largest holders of U.S. debt are Americans themselves. American hegemony has shifted debts onto the world. They keep the wealth for themselves. Once the U.S. destroys the order it established after World War II and begins annexing other countries, other major powers will claim justification. I can also go. Right? The theme of the spring and autumn period is hegemony. It is about competing for global dominance. The theme of the Warring States period is that great powers no longer need many smaller vassals. They completely integrate the territories of their vassals. This feels much better. First, annex the vassals to become the strong Qin. Then the weak yen. Those who do not annex will perish. Many people hold naive fantasies. They believe we need to do nothing. Just lie flat. America will naturally collapse. Then we can easily revive ourselves. Or many believe that by shouting for a peaceful rise every day, America will watch us rise. I can only say, do not underestimate America. Underestimating America only shows your own naivety. Dongda can no longer remain low-key. Otherwise, America will overturn the table. Even if it is in rags. Even if living in a cave. They still firmly believe their future path will succeed. The people of Dongda will succeed. They must see Dong Wang's true nature. His so-called tariffs on allies are constantly delayed and can be cancelled at any time. However, tariffs on Dongda are aggressively increased. What do you think he wants? Isn't he preparing for war? In response, I would like to make a few points. First, Dong Wang's America is weaker than before. Currently, it is following the same path as the late Ming and Qing dynasties. Many defense strategic materials needed by the US are controlled by Dongda. The most obvious is rare earth. Without these elements, the US cannot even produce active phased array radar. Secondly, Dongda is stronger than before. The KJ-3000 has been unveiled. The 6th generation fighter is airborne, and the 076 is launched. This means that the US has systematically fallen behind Dongda in military technology. As mentioned earlier, the US F-2 and its air-to-air missiles only reach a maximum altitude of 18,000 meters. This means that as long as the 6th generation fighter flies above 20,000 meters, even if it is above the F-2, the US cannot reach it. This is a decisive advantage of the 6th generation fighter. Third, they must take the initiative. All talk of peace is meaningless. Businessmen have a homeland. If Li Ka-shing really sells out this time, it will be recorded in history. Fortunately, Dongda intervened in time. He will not allow this deal to succeed. So, this great revival of Dongda must know what to do at each stage. That means not letting the US provoke. At the same time, they cannot lay flat. They must continuously strive to influence each round in the national wave. The people of this world either stand with Dongda or are on the path of being surpassed by Dongda.